Your mirror, your muse. Welcome to G State of Mind.
So, few things. Growth is not easy, and trying to become a better person or just a better you is no easy feat. And I feel like maybe I delude myself sometimes with what growth looks like and what that comes with, the discipline it takes, and the mental fortitude it takes. The mental fortitude it takes. And I'll probably do a whole separate video talking about the mental fortitude it takes trying to be your best self. But this video is going to mostly be about choosing faith over fear. And when I originally recorded this video, my message there was that faith and fear can't exist together. And I've found and I've learned from personal experience that yes, it can. I think what I learned most though through that process is that while they can exist simultaneously, you do have to choose which one you're going to feed, and you have to choose which one you're going to take with you on your journey. I'm saying it's so much more easier now, but my edits will show that it took me so long, such a roundabout way, just to say that. You have to choose which one of those feelings, emotions you're going to take with you on your journey through whatever your situation is, whatever your challenge is. And I've learned that sometimes you don't even pay attention to where your thoughts are going or mentally how you're moving in your own head. You don't even realize until you stop and you take the time to really listen to yourself. And that seems so easy, but that's where that mental fortitude comes. Because in the midst of a challenging situation, it's not always easy to think about all the best that can come out of it, or the best sides of the situation, or looking at the glass as half full all the time. And while it's so easy for us to say to each other, things are going to be all right, things are going to be fine, things are always going to work out the way they're supposed to. When you're in the middle of it, baby, believe me, when you're in the middle of it, it does not feel that easy. But it really is a decision that you have to make, both mentally, emotionally, and spiritually, of which one of those things you're going to take with you through that challenge, through that circumstance, through that journey. What's it going to be? Maybe is it going to be faith or fear? While you can feel both simultaneously, you have to latch onto one of those to take with you. You can't take them both through that journey. And the thing that I've learned about emotions and feelings is that they are both as simple and complicated as we think they are. You feel your feels and then you let it pass. I think oftentimes we get stuck on the feelings part of it. And I will say, just watching children, you realize how sometimes they feel their feels and then it just passes. They might feel sad and then it passes and they move on. They might feel really happy, really, really excited, really hyper, and then it passes and then they move on. They don't dwell in that emotion. They allow themselves to feel it, and because they can't fully regulate it, they feel it to its fullest extent, and then they let it pass. They let it move on. Somewhere along the way, as adults, we forgot how to let the emotions pass through. We've started to hold on to it because we realize that there's certain ways that we can use that emotion to either inspire us to do something, to power us through something, to help us complete something. That regulation came with a little bit of confusion in how we deal with our emotions. And so, again, just running that back to faith or fear, while you can feel both and let them pass, I think you do have to make a decision when it's time to move on of which one you want to latch onto. And you can't latch onto both and expect the best results. You can't latch onto both and hope to get on the other side of that quickly. You can't latch onto both and think, oh no, everything's going to be fine if I'm constantly afraid of what's going to happen and I'm still trying to be courageous and hold on to fear. You got to choose which one of those paths you're going to walk down. And if you're going to choose faith, which I strongly suggest you choose faith, you'll realize that there's growth even in choosing faith, even in mentally knowing, like, I'm not going to think about my fear right now. I'm not going to let that come into this space right now. I'll think about that later. And you could pick up your feelings sometimes. You could put them down sometimes. There's space for everything. So that's the first thing that I've learned and I've taken with me, is having the mental fortitude to choose faith. And while I can feel both emotions, I do have to make a decision of which I'm going to latch onto and which I'm going to carry me through in my journey through whatever challenge, situation, circumstance that I might be going through. In that same breath of the mental fortitude to choose faith, I think that we often default to fear. And I went to church the other day, and there was a pastor or a minister, I'm never sure like what their titles, but there was a guest speaker, and I think his name was Pastor Rashad, and it was Union Church in Charlotte, but he was from the Maryland church, and his message was making courage your default instead of fear. And he told this story about this character in the Bible named, I think, Benaniah, one of David's men, and how he was a lion chaser. How instead of fleeing the lion like most people would do, or instead of letting it pass and worrying about the lion later if the lion was trying to attack him, he saw that lion and he chased that lion down until he killed it. Because he wasn't allowing it to come back and harm his family. He wasn't allowing it to come back and harm him or his people. He led with courage. And when he said that message, let me just tell you, his whole session was amazing. But when he said that message, it really fed into this same mental fortitude that I was talking about. And I was thinking about even for this video, where you really do have to choose faith over fear. It is a constant choice. But when you make courage your default feeling, when you make courage your default emotion, your default path, it takes nothing to choose faith in those moments of challenges or fears or your circumstances where you don't know what to do, you don't know what happens next. When you're waiting on something, when you practice making courage your default, it will take you no time at all to build that mental fortitude to constantly choose faith. To not even allow fear to hold up much space. Sure, fear is a feeling. You're going to feel it from time to time, but you let it pass quickly. And I think that is something that I'm learning to do and that I'm going to start practicing, is making fear something that passes very quickly. I might feel it and then I let it pass. I'm not going to dwell on it because it stops me from doing things. It stops me from putting out things that I'm really passionate about, from talking about things that I'm passionate about. It stops me from really being me and putting my best foot forward and dreaming bigger. I realized a long time ago how small I was dreaming with so many things, and I realized, like, I'm tired of dreaming small. Like, what that meme say?
You need to think big.
So
See, that's no. The thing is this. No, the thing is this. Bitch, you think it's small. We need to be thinking big.
Exactly. You need to be thinking big. And it doesn't matter how much that big might make you scared, how much it makes you tremble thinking about how you're going to do it, or even your default of like, that's not likely. No, make courage your default instead. And so I'm practicing that. What does that look like for me to just go after the things, to just get up, to just do the things anyway, in spite of the fear that I felt? I'm not allowing that fear to sit and stay with me. No, you can come visit. I acknowledge you. However, I'm a rock with courage on this. And so you just gotta make courage your default. And I'm gonna do the same thing. So we're on this journey together, baby. And I'm watching you. You watching me, I'm watching you. We're gonna make courage our default.